What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Life at the Hamids. Today's a beautiful day. The sun's finally out. It is still a bit chilly, but things are warming up. The daffodils and the spring bulbs are starting to actually shoot up at the ground, which means I can do some sowings. Now, I'm still going to be doing stuff indoors. However, I've come out here because right now my house is a little bit of a mess, sorting it out today actually. But I want to make a video for you about what I'll be sowing in February. So today we're going to be doing some vegetables as well as some flowers. So the first one that I'm going to be planting is my lettuces. All right, the lettuces that I've got here are Little Gem, I've got mesclun mix, and I've got gourmet loose leaf salad mix. And what I'm doing, I'm still do them indoors, but I've got my compost starter mix ready. And with these things, I don't clean them out. I just literally get them ready and reuse them again and again. There's no need to actually do that. But as you can see, I've got the compost ready, already moist, and I've firmed it down in, and I'm just going to plant on top of here. So let's get that sorted out for you right now. And with the lettuce that I'm going to be planting, I didn't do any like full heads. I didn't cut them off. I just grew them as cut and come again, where I just took the outside leaves off and I just kept harvesting them the whole year round. Now, let's see. We have a lot of lettuce in our household, so I'm just going to do a couple and see how that goes. There's lots of seeds here. And this Little Gem leaf is actually really lovely. So I'm going to do quite a few of those. I'll cover them up with, what's it called? Where did I put the thing? I've pre-written everything for us, so to make it faster, but I seem to have lost the one for Little Gem. So I'll just grab one from here and label that. Make sure you label everything because it's so easy to forget. So lettuce, Little Gem. So gem. All right, that's that one. I'm doing a whole one for that one. And then what I'll do is I'll plant that in a second. I'll put that down there for now. Then the next one I'm going to do is going to be the gourmet loose leaf. Now with this one, I'll probably end up using it just to top up my salads. I'll do a few here. I'll pick them out after. All right, loose leaf. Let those grow. And then I've got the mesclun mix over here. There's the loose leaf and there's the mesclun mix. Oops, wrong way around. Make sure you don't do that. Here's the mesclun mix. And this has probably got a bit of Mizuna and everything in it mixed up. I've got them separately. But what I will do is I'll do those as it is. So now that I've got my lettuce planted, all I'm going to do is cover them with a little bit of soil. Not too much. Just enough to cover them up. This is already pre-moist. Soil, compost. And that's about it really. Won't firm it down too much. Now, do you know what? I know people have different seed starter compost and whatnot. I find that just using the multi-purpose compost for everything works. There's little bits, it's not too thin, helps with water drainage because lettuce needs that drainage. But I found I haven't needed to add perlite or vermiculite or any of that stuff for water drainage in my soil, which is something that most people do. I don't have the time. I've got a lot to do. However, I still want to do this. And what I found is that you can still get a good harvest, good germination, and success in your seedlings by just keeping it simple. If you don't have time to go sieving and whatnot. Yeah, I know a lot of people do it, but I don't know. I stopped doing it, and to be honest, when I did sieve out and I'd made seed compost, I had less success than when I just stopped caring and just did it. Remember, nature. It's all nature. And no one sieved compost in the olden days or originally. Things just, nature took course. The birds, the animals did what they needed to do. They ate the seeds, they went somewhere else, or they fall on the ground and they're covered up by a little bit of dust or whatever, or dug in by another animal, and it gets done. So why am I going to overcomplicate things? Anyway, so those are those two done. I'll put those down here for now, and I'll get on with the next batch. There we go. So, what's next? Broccoli. So I'm going to do some broccoli in this one, and then I'll do some beetroot. How much broccoli? Okay, so we use quite a bit of broccoli, right? So I'm still going to plant some out, and I might do a whole load and prick this out. Now, I tend to sow more. That was way more than I wanted. I tend to sow more than less, because you can always thin them out afterwards. There we go. Thin them out however you want. So if you need a couple of plants, or you can prick them out and repot them on. So there's my broccoli done. This is Calabrese. I didn't grow it last year, but I'm going to grow it this year because I just want to make sure I can do it. And again, I'm going to cover it up with soil and compost. So hopefully this year is going to be a good year. As you can see in the allotment behind me, it's very messy. We had a storm as well. Luckily, there wasn't too much damage, and I was able to not get any problems. We haven't had any rodent problems or break-ins. Well, my neighbours had a break-in here. This is one problem you get with allotments: theft. You will get theft here. However, most people here are friendly. It's just the odd one or two. However, I take my seedlings home. I have had this where someone's taken my plants. I had pumpkin plants last year, left a few out, thinking I'll come the next day, came back and they were gone. Maybe they needed it that much. That's why I always grow more than necessary as well. So luckily it didn't affect me. Extra plants anyway. Okay, so what's next? We're going to do the beetroot. Now, I don't really have beetroot. This year, what I'm going to do is I'm still going to plant it because I realized that even though I don't have the beetroot, I can have the leaves. So beetroot leaves, and add them to my salad. So I'm growing the beetroot for leaves rather than actual beets. And I'm going to take some of the juice and I'm going to dehydrate it. I'm going to buy a dehydrator, and I'm going to make some beetroot powder because I can use it as colouring and whatnot. But let's see. If you guys know a really nice way to cook beetroot, let me know. I'll try it out. Maybe you can change my mind on it. So I've got two varieties here. I've got Boltardi and I've got assorted, wherever that's gone. And I'm going to plant them. So this one, I'm going to do the cluster. So literally, I'm going to let them grow and I'll pull them out as and when I need them. But I'm going to put a whole cluster. And I'm not going to grow too many of these actually. So about 3 to 4 in each one. And let those grow. And see how they do. Last year I did it. I got some leaves. However, I wasn't too happy with it. They didn't grow so well. So this year, let's get a head start and see how that goes. Now, where did I put the other one? Here we go. Baltardi. So this is assorted. So you've got different coloured beetroot. You've got the golden beetroot and the normal beetroot, as well as the Baltardi beetroot, from what I can see in terms of seeds. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to cluster about 3 to 4 and put them in. And then see how that goes. So hopefully, now that season's picking up, I'll be doing more videos. I know I've only been doing a couple of videos. Sorry, not a couple of videos. I know I've been doing about a video a month. It's been a bit slow and I've been busy at work sorting things out. But behind the scenes, I've been doing what I need to do and getting things done. However, the channel's steadily growing and you lot have been so supportive and I really appreciate you. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant the marigolds. Some that I saved from seeds, some that I bought. And what it is I've got marigold brocade mix and I've got the marigold red ones. So they were ones I planted and saved seeds. They're really lovely and I really liked them. So I'm going to plant them. I'm also going to be planting Cosmos, Fizzy Purple, and Cosmos Dwarf Mix. So let's get those planted. And I'm going to plant more than less. So here we go. I'll do a whole load of marigold in here. And I'll do the Cosmos in here. And last year I multi-sowed it in here as well. And then what I did is as they grew, I separated them out and did more. So let's get them planted. So this is the brocade mix. I'm going to put about 3 or 4 in there because, again, like I said, we don't know how they'll germinate. But I put 3 or 4. I always put extra. Remember, you can always thin out these seedlings if they don't grow. And what I'll do is I'll take them, and remember, once you save seed, one cluster, like one flower, gives you dozens of seeds. So you're going to get a lot of seeds from just one flower. So you can sparingly put them down. There we go. And here's the red marigold I kept from seed. I don't know how viable this is going to be. First time I've kept them from seed, but we'll find out. I'll do a whole load more than I normally would on that one. Now some may say that's way too many for there, but last year I did this and I pricked it out. Remember, gardening's not about being stringent and following the rules to the T, because people said that I wouldn't be able to grow the beans just up the sticks like that in a block, and I managed. And in fact, I did very good, and that's not something that I would have usually done, but it worked. So always test things out and always make sure you experiment. It's nature. Do what you want to do. Nature will fix itself anyway over time. I'm just going to cover these out. But yeah, it doesn't take too long to set yourself up. And I've started in February. In March is going to be very busy. That's where I'm going to get a lot more planted. I've got a lot more seeds in this box, as you can see below me. However, it's not time. There's a certain things that I want to get ahead of. Some may even say I don't need to do some of these early. However, last year, remember, I started late. This year we start early, but there's no harm. And remember, I'm learning, we will learn, and we will grow as one team. So, there you go. The soul's covered up nicely. Not patting them down too much. So the last one is Cosmos. Now, I'm doing the marigolds because they're good companion plants for the garden, especially the tomatoes. However, this year I want a lot more flowers in here. I don't want it just to be vegetables. I want to come here and I want to enjoy some nice scenery, because it's nice to see the vegetables and the colours there. However, I want some more colours. So let's plant the cosmos. And cosmos is good for pollinators anyway. However, I really like cosmos, they're beautiful. And I'll do a mixture. So fizzy purple are big. They're quite big and they grow quite big. That will be plenty. So there's my cosmos fizzy purple. And I'm wondering what happened to my... I labelled everything before. I'll check anyway. It was difficult. While I'm doing the video, I'm sinking into the ground. I'll show you afterwards. It's so waterlogged. It's just nasty. I'm gonna have to re-level this ground because I'm using this bit to make all the videos. But let's carry on. So the last one is going to be the dwarf mix. I've got labels behind me anyway, so I'll just use those labels. There we go. Plant that, and we're more or less done. In my next video, by the way, I'm going to be tidying up the garden. So I'm going to be on half term from school next week. Some I'm off this week. I'll be off next week, which means I can get on with cleaning. So I'm going to clean this whole garden up, and I'm going to do a video for you doing the garden up and just doing it. So you're going to see a big difference, because right now I've not touched it. I've left it alone because there's not much to do. So I'm going to do all the de-weeding, and I'm going to do a time lapse for you there so you can see all of that. I'm glad to be getting on with that. I can't wait for next week. I'll probably do it on the weekend and get the video out for you either that week or the next week, depending on what's going on at home. So I'm just covering them with a little layer, and I'm not going to water this down because this compost is quite moist. If it wasn't moist, I would have actually given it a little water. As I said before, I don't use seed starter compost or anything special like that. I just use the B&Q multi-purpose compost. It's never really let me down. However, when I put the top layer on, I make sure I remove any of those lumps, because then I notice that if there's too many lumps on the top, you have problems with seeds getting through the lumps. So there we go. Now that I've done that, those are all of my seeds. I got in trouble by Daffy. What happened was it was really cold last week, and I needed to separate out my seedlings for the chili peppers, right? And I ended up being naughty, so I got a tray, I filled it up with compost and brought it into the office upstairs, brought in all the pots and did it on the desk. Made a whole mess, which I cleaned up, but the point is I did it in the house and she wasn't too happy. The room stunk. When I mean it, it just had this damp, mossy smell, earthy smell. I liked it. It wasn't too bad, but she wasn't happy with that at all. I think it was mainly because I just brought the compost in and I did it upstairs. I maybe should have done it in the garden. It's cold. It's super cold. And I didn't want to do it. So my point was this, is I needed to get it done anyway. And it got done. And I left the window open and it's aired out. But I thought I'd share that with you. She didn't find it funny, but I hope you find it funny. You can leave a comment down below and tell me if I was out of order for doing that, or if it's a good thing just to get things done and be productive with my time. I hope you enjoyed that story. Please remember to share the videos and comment. Let me know how I'm doing and how things are going. Stay tuned. There's going to be a lot going on. I'm getting rid of this grapevine. It's not useful for me, but I'll keep that for another video. Doing the cleanup. Going to be planting more in March. It's going to get busy. So there's going to be a lot more videos going out. I'm going to get busy and you're going to get to watch it all. I'm glad you're joining me on this journey as always. Please remember to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell. It really does help the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one.